Hi, it's Lindsay again. We're so excited to be joining us from live here at IMEX. I am thrilled to have Sharon Fisher, who is an idea sparker out of Orlando, Florida, and she did some really great sessions on playing with purpose, but is going to be joining us today to talk about gamification, but not gamification from a technology standpoint, rather thinking about gamification as a strategy. So one of the things we were talking about before we came on camera, Sharon, was the idea of growing down. Can you tell me what that means?
Yeah, I sure can. And what I was sharing is that it's my favorite thing in my job because all we really do is we play, but we do strategic play. And so we come up with crazy, wild, wacky ideas, fun things for our clients to do. And my whole goal is to get people to grow down. Because if you think about it, back when you were a kid, how did you learn? Everything you learned was playing, right? Yeah. You did some kind of a game, or you were out digging in the sand, or you were being pushed around the playground and you were learning how to stand up for yourself and getting a voice. Everything you did, you learned through play. And then we get to school and we very quickly learn that play isn't the way we're going to learn anymore, and that there's very strict rules, and that there's one answer to every single question, and the correct answer is the one in the back of the teacher's book, not necessarily the one you come up with. And we're very, very quickly taught how not to be creative and how not to use those childlike, not childish, but childlike skills that actually help us learn and help us be and help us share and be creative and be innovative and all those things. So we forget how to do all of that. It gets taught out of us. And so as adults, we need to be reminded it's okay to grow down. And it's okay to be a little bit more childlike when we're coming up with certain, when we're working on certain projects or doing certain things.
So when you're thinking about designing play for events and hospitality, what does that kind of look like? Because I know one of the biggest things that we always have clients coming to us going, well, we just need it because my CEO wants it. And we go, but why do you want gamification? Well, I don't know. We just need it. So where do you even get started when you think about it?
The big divide is, right? is the curse of our industry, right? It's so hard when as planners, we don't always understand what the purpose of something is. And so that's how we always try to get started, is to understand what is your purpose? Why are you having this meeting or this event? What are your goals? What are the results you expect to achieve? How do you want people to walk away feeling about what they learned? And then what do you want them to do when they get out of here? So if we can understand those things, then we can say, okay, now here's some playful strategies or engagement strategies that'll work for you. But if you don't know the purpose, it's very difficult to create anything that's relevant or really good for the audience. If you just throw in some random games or some random activities, people are going, why did we do that? What sense did that make? And if you haven't been retrained yet on how to
retraining, I love that. Like, we're going to take you, we're going to recondition you, but instead of that way, we're going to make you watch the Care Bears.
Exactly. So if you haven't, been re-energized in that way before, then you're kind of going, well, that was stupid. Why did we do that? Or you're rolling your eyes going, what are we doing now? Or why are we doing that kind of thing? So we're really, really big believers in play, but only if it comes with strategy and purpose, is that there's a reason for doing it. And play doesn't work everywhere, but it works a lot of places. You need to know where it works and where it doesn't, and when you should use it.
So thinking about that from a strategic standpoint, we always say measurement matters, right? And so it sounds like there are some instances where you can build in that measurement strategy with the engagement, and then sometimes measurement's not the reason, right? So where have you seen measurement being most successful? So if I want to use play as a strategy for a business case, let's say I need to drive traffic to my trade show floor, or I'm trying to make sure my breakouts, people aren't falling asleep. It could be a thing. It has been a thing. So what would you kind of recommend to planners as they're thinking through those two scenarios?
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of different results that you can help to drive using play or games or even just interaction in some way, shape, or form through your meeting. And it's understanding which types of things worked for what you're trying to accomplish. And that all comes back to purpose, So if you don't know the purpose, then just you know, I would say skip it, but you just do
Or
something.
hire you. I mean, that works
Or hire
too.
us, that works too. But but even we can't help you if we don't know what your purpose is. I mean, we can do very professional, cool events, but if it doesn't get you where you want to be, did you just waste your money? And I hate having people waste money, you know, because there's very strategic things you can do with it if you know what you're doing. So like some examples. We have some community give back events that are all based around interaction and people doing things and working together to accomplish some kind of a goal that results in a give back program. So that's not necessarily measurable from a numbers perspective. It's measurable a little bit from a heart perspective and did we feel like we did something good? Did it create those emotional elements that we wanted from our meeting to make people feel proud to work at our organization, or, you know, those kinds of things, but they're not numbers driven. And then on the flip side, if you're looking for numbers, say you're running a national sales meeting and you're trying to make sure that everybody walks out the door and knows exactly what they need to know when they walk out the door, then you're going to do a different kind of a game. It's going to be something that it's more rules-based, it's more focused in design, and it's more and it's scored. There's more outcomes from it. So you're measuring it in some way, shape, or form how you got there. And to give you an example of that, we did an event with an eye care company who was launching a new contact lens. And basically they said, we're going to do this national sales meeting. We're bringing 400 people. At the end, we need to know they know everything about our strategy for going to market and everything about this product. And we've got 2 days to do it in. And so we said, well, it's silly to sit in meetings for 2 days and just vomit information onto people and tell them it's exhausting. And this was even before cell phones, but people tune out. They just check out. You know, it's overload, and your brain can't absorb that much information in that kind of time. So what we decided to do was kind of a flip learning process where we condensed the information that they needed to know. So the product specs and the competitive analysis and the go-to-market piece into short microbursts of learning and put that online, and then they got points and scored points for having completed reading each of those. Then when they got to the meeting, it was all hands-on. So we had created 4 interactive games that tested what they knew and what they didn't know. So it was all about understanding, okay, here's the things they need to know. When they get to the meeting, whatever pieces they don't know, that's what we're going to talk about. We're not going to just spit information on them. We're going to talk about the things that didn't click, that didn't make sense, that there's questions about, or they don't understand. And so we did the 4 games and did that, and each of the 4 areas was divided in half. So it was half interactive game, and then it was half figuring it out. The cool thing about it was on the marketing piece, every single one of the groups had questions about the strategy for their go-to-market piece. They ended up changing their marketing plan before they went. So it's cool. So it's smart, because what happened is if they had not done that, they would have just got it downloaded to them. They wouldn't have had time to think about it, read it, digest, reflect, play with it, regurgitate it to themselves, whatever, and they would have just gone to market with a faulty plan. So it worked out really well. So you can uncover things that are wrong if you're having conversations. You can't do that if you're vomiting information. So
oh man, now I want to go back and see what that design looked like. And are they still using it? Nerd. So we always try to leave one great tip. So our audience is all event professionals in different worlds of corporations, associations, the government. If you had to leave one tip for our event profs, what would it be?
It would have to be around risk. So a lot of people perceive that playing games, doing interaction, doing any kind of participatory things is really risky. I'm working with a bunch of doctors. They'll never do it. You know, I hear that all the time. My audience is too conservative. They'll never do it. The reality is we're all kids, and we all played when we were kids. We played in different ways, though, and we had different things that we loved. Your favorite board game is probably not my favorite board game. You know, we probably would choose different things. So what I would say is, understand your audience, know your audience, know what you want to achieve, and go for it and start small. So you don't have to jump in and like gamify your whole entire meeting.
Right.
Take one session at your meeting and put some gamification twists in there, whether it's technology based or not, but integrate some interactive things. Start small and then go for it. And then you'll have great success. Some of them might not, and then you figure out,
And that's
I
okay, too.
missed this about my audience, and now I know what to do and how to do it. So
All right.
that'd
Well,
be my
this was
big tip.
fantastic. Thank you so much, Sharon, for joining us today. I almost want to get your card so we can talk more later. We are so
I have
much
one.
Thanks again. Well, we'll look forward to speaking to you more and enjoying IMEX.
Great. Thanks so much for having me. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.